Welcome, Cheryl Leahy, in the Business Growth Support Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
You work for the Brooks Institute for Animal Rights, Law and Policy. Please tell a little bit more about the company.
Sure. So the Brooks Institute is a think and do tank that focuses on the advancement of animal law and policy to push a paradigm shift for animals. So the level mistreatment and exploitation of animals that is basically endemic all around the world does not really align with the values that we purport to organize our societies around. And we think law is a really powerful tool to shift toward an alignment with the values that we all should be espousing to have. So I run a program there called the Animal Law Practice Association, which is meant to fill gaps to allow the many, many lawyers who are out there who are interested in helping animals through their practice to learn with very practical resources how to practice animal law and also to meet each other and to network with people who are experienced in the field.
You're doing that already a long time, Cheryl?
It's been about a year and a half. And prior to that, I was at a nonprofit called Animal Outlook. Animal Outlook is focused on farmed animal advocacy.
We in the podcast talk about growth, but there's also a lot of growth of animal cruelty, of course. It's a little bit more on that and share your perspective on that.
So something like 97% of people around the world, it does not matter how you divide people by gender, by political affiliation, by race or country of origin, by age, you can do any kind of survey you want anywhere in the world and you'll get roughly the same result that people, about 97% of people oppose animal cruelty. However, you have these huge multi-billion-dollar industries that rely upon that cruelty to exist. And I'm talking, about things like farmed animals, so which are, 99% plus animals raised for meat, milk, and eggs are in these industrial factory farm type conditions worldwide. And, things like animal testing or vivisection, where essentially the animal is the product and you have cruelty really inherent in that process.
But it's so good you are there with your office and trying to protect those animals. A little bit more about the charitable giving within that.
Yeah, so most of the really interesting cutting edge work that's going on in terms of trying to address the systemic mistreatment of animals is being supported by charitable donations. So largely in the United States, the main kind of advocacy organization is a nonprofit called the 501c3 nonprofit. It's important if you are thinking about making an impact by giving, which I think is really crucial, right? But I think it requires some careful evaluation and review to understand, are your donation dollars going to the kind of work you want? What groups are out there? What kind of impact can be made?
Yes, I understand. What you think on AI, is that shaping your industry as well?
I am more concerned with the industry, the cruel industries that are out there, using AI for things like setting the cultural narrative around these issues and making it seem as though animal activists are radical or, meat is necessary for a healthy diet, right? So they have the resources to use these tools like AI that can accelerate and be very, very precise about the types of messages that can be disseminated and can be analyzed to be more increasingly efficiently received by the right people to shut down advocacy.
Yes, I understand. Thank you for these wise words. I have a question, a last question to you, Cheryl. If you could any wise advice to the audience, what would you give from your knowledge you have in your industry?
I think all of us care about making things better and doing better, and most of us care about animals. And so I think we need to think of ourselves as a part of the solution.
Thank you for the advice. Very wise. It was great to have you here in the podcast.
Thank you so much.